grand hall of eternal flames stretched impossibly high, its vaulted ceiling disappearing into smoke and shadow. Pillars of obsidian, each carved with the deeds of dragon lords long dead, stood like sentinels along the crimson marble floor. At the hall's far end, upon a throne of molten gold that never cooled, sat Emperor Veyroth Ignasar, ancient beyond measure. His scales shimmered like dying stars, his eyes twin furnaces that had watched civilizations rise and crumble to dust. Today, those eyes were fixed on a small, unremarkable human girl. Lra Dawnfall stood at the center of the hall, her worn leather boots squeaking against the polished stone. She was 17 standard years old, her hands calloused from years of forge work, her hair tied back in a practical braid. Among the assembled dragons, each in humanoid form and draped in silks and jewels worth planetary ransoms, she looked like a sparrow among phoenixes. "Explain yourself, human." Veyroth's voice rolled through the hall like distant thunder. "You dare interrupt the ceremony of ascension with accusations of fraud?" The nobles hissed, smoke curling from their nostrils. To their left, displayed upon a pedestal of crystal, rested the Codeex Primordial, the first book of dragon law, penned by Veyroth himself 3,000 years ago. Today was meant to be its authentication before the Galactic Antiquities Council, a mere formality before it was enshrined in the Universal Museum. Lra's hands trembled, but her voice held steady. "With respect, Your Imperial Majesty," she began. "That codex is a forgery." The hall erupted. Dragons roared, their forms flickering between humanoid and fully reptilian in outrage. Lord Kitharon, master of the treasury, slammed his fist against a pillar, cracking it. "Insolence! The human seeks to embarrass us before the galaxy." Veyroth's word was a physical force, pressing everyone to their knees. Everyone except Lra, who swayed but remained standing. "You are Lra Dawnfall," the Emperor rumbled, narrowing his eyes. "Daughter of Marcus Dawnfall, the human calligrapher who served my court for 30 years. "Yes, Your Majesty. Your father was among the finest scribes in the Empire. He died defending this very codex when raiders attacked the Imperial archives. And now, you dishonor his memory with lies." "I honor his memory with truth," Lra said, reaching into her satchel and producing a worn journal. "My father spent his last 10 years studying the Codeex Primordial. He taught me every secret of ancient draconic script, ink composition, binding methods. Before he died, he made me promise to continue his research." "Research?" Lady Sharinx, keeper of histories, stepped forward, silver eyes glinting. "What research could a human possibly conduct that our finest scholars have not?" Lra walked toward the pedestal. Her instincts screamed to flee, but she didn't stop. "May I examine it, Your Majesty?" The silence was absolute. To touch the Codex without permission meant death. Yet Veyroth, for reasons he could not name, gestured consent. Lra's hands hovered over the ancient tome, fingers brushing its surface. "The binding is immaculate," she murmured. "Genuine dragon hide from the Twilight Age, preserved perfectly. The covers where patterns match 3 millennia of careful handling." She opened it gently, inhaling the scent of starstone ink. "The ink is authentic, crushed starstone mixed with volcanic ash, exactly as dragons wrote before synthetic compounds existed." "Then what?" Lord Kitharon demanded. "The words are wrong," Lra said, pointing to a passage on the first page. "This character here, written in Hydrionic circa 1200 Old Imperial, didn't exist when this codex was supposedly penned. It wasn't added until the script's reformation, 2 centuries later." Lady Sharinx rushed forward, eyes wide. "Impossible. I've read this codex 100 times." "You read it in translation, or with your mind filling in what should be there," Lra replied. She flipped through pages, pointing out inconsistencies. "Here, this conjunction uses a grammatical structure that didn't exist yet. Here, this metaphor references the 3 moons of Kiraz, colonized 300 years after the codex's date." She paused at a particularly ornate passage. The hall froze. Veyroth rose from his throne, descending the steps with impossible grace, looming over Lra. "What did you say?" "My father was commissioned 20 years ago to restore damaged pages after a fire in the archives. He was the best. His reproductions were perfect. But someone replaced the entire codex with them. Someone who knew the difference, yet wanted the real codex for themselves." Veyroth's clawed hand reached past Lra, lifting the codex. His eyes, which had read it 1,000 times, now saw it fresh, without preconceptions. His scales, once shimmering like inner fire, turned ash-gray. "By the first flame," he whispered. Lord Kithaeron stepped forward, horror in his expression. "Your Majesty, if the human is correct, she is correct." Veyroth closed the codex with reverence. "I wrote these words myself 3,000 years ago. I remembered what should be there, not what was. And yet, you saw what we could not." Lra met his gaze, unflinching. "Because I'm human, Your Majesty. We don't live for millennia. We can't assume tomorrow will be like yesterday. We have to pay attention while we can. And my father taught me that truth matters more than comfort, even when that truth is terrifying." The Emperor was silent. Then, slowly, he inclined his head, a gesture of respect he had not given to any being in 1,000 years. "The human girl is correct. We have been robbed, and by someone within my own court. Find the real codex. Find the thief. And Lra Dawnfall." His gaze fixed her in that ancient, endless way. "You will lead the investigation. Your father gave his life protecting a forgery. You have honored him by exposing it." As the hall erupted into urgent discussion and dragons rushed to begin the hunt, Lra allowed herself a small, trembling smile. Somewhere, she hoped, her father was proud. The mighty could be fooled, but the truth spoken by even the smallest voice would always matter. Always. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.